Nyx towered over the human scurrying away from her in the diplomatic hall. Her obsidian skin shimmered with bioluminescent patterns that pulsed with her emotions. Her 6 golden eyes blinked in sequence as she watched them flee. Some screamed, others dropped their drinks and papers. A few brave souls tried to maintain composure but kept a safe distance. Her mandibles clicked in frustration. Only one human remained standing her ground. A small female with auburn hair and freckled skin. She wore the standard Earth Diplomatic Corps uniform, but lacked any special insignia or rank markers. Just another junior diplomat. Yet she stood firm while admirals and ambassadors retreated. Lisa Summers stared up at the 8-foot-tall alien without flinching. Her hands remained steady at her sides, not reaching for any weapon. Her heart raced, but she controlled her breathing just as her training taught her. The alien was intimidating with razor-sharp claws and an exoskeleton that could likely stop bullets. But Lisa saw something in those multiple eyes. Something familiar. Pain, loneliness. Fear. Nyx lowered herself slightly, bending her jointed legs to appear less threatening. Her voice came out as a series of clicks and hums translated by the device at her thorax. "Why do you not run like the others?" Lisa smiled, a small tentative gesture. "Why should I run? You came here to talk, not to hurt anyone, right?" The translator had a half-second delay, making conversation stilted, but functional. Nyx tilted her massive head, her antennae twitching with curiosity. She had never encountered this reaction from humans before. In the 3 standard years since first contact her species, the Vexari had been treated with fear and suspicion. They were warriors, yes. Predators, certainly. But they had come seeking alliance, not conquest. "You are either very brave or very foolish, little human," Nyx said, stepping closer. Lisa shrugged. "Maybe a bit of both, but I read the reports on Vexari physiology and culture. You could have killed everyone in this room in seconds if you wanted to. The fact that you didn't tells me everything I need to know." The diplomatic hall had emptied except for security personnel pressed against the walls, weapons drawn but not aimed directly at the alien visitor. They were waiting for orders, unsure how to proceed. The human female talking casually with the terrifying alien was not following protocol. "I am called Nyx, War Mother of the Southern Hives." Nyx announced her title with a series of proud clicks. "Lisa Summers, Junior Diplomatic Liaison." The human offered her hand, then realized the gesture might not translate. "I apologize for my colleague's reaction. Your arrival was expected, but your appearance is quite striking." "Striking." Nyx repeated the word. The translator struggled with the nuance. "Is that a compliment?" Lisa nodded yes. "In human terms, it means impressive, memorable, powerful." The Vexari made a sound that Lisa couldn't identify until she realized it was laughter, a rumbling vibration that sent small puffs of sweet-smelling pheromones into the air. "The other humans call us monsters behind closed doors. I have excellent hearing. They think we are savages, beasts from nightmares. Yet you call me striking." Lisa gestured toward a seating area designed for interspecies meetings. "Would you like to sit, War Mother? We could start our discussions while the others compose themselves." Nyx followed, carefully navigating the human-sized furniture until finding a reinforced bench meant for heavier species. She settled her weight testing at first. Her exoskeleton creaked as she adjusted her posture. "You must understand our appearance triggers instinctive responses in humans," Lisa explained. "We evolved fearing predators with multiple eyes and armored bodies." "It's biological, not personal." Nyx considered this. "My species evolved fearing nothing. We were the apex predators of our world. Perhaps that is why we struggle to understand diplomatic subtlety. We respect strength and directness." As they talked, security gradually lowered their weapons. A few braver diplomats returned, maintaining distance but listening. A stern-looking woman with silver hair approached cautiously. Admiral Carol Blake, head of the Earth delegation. Lisa recognized her and stood at attention at ease. "Summers," Blake said, her eyes never leaving the alien. "What exactly is happening here?" Lisa spoke clearly. "We are having a diplomatic conversation, Admiral." As we were instructed to do, the War Mother has concerns about the proposed mining rights agreement. Blake looked skeptical but nodded, gesturing for Lisa to continue. The young diplomat had managed what none of their xenopsychologists had predicted. Establishing rapport with the notoriously difficult Vexari. Nix watched the interaction with all six eyes blinking in their hypnotic sequence. When Blake stepped back, she leaned toward Lisa, her voice lowered, though still perfectly audible to everyone. "That one fears me, but respects you." Why, Lisa smiled, this time more confidently. "Because I did something unexpected. Admiral Blake values unpredictability when it works. The Vexari considered this. For my people, doing the unexpected in battle is how we survived. The unexpected is valued if it brings victory over the next hours." Lisa and Nix discussed the contentious mining agreement that had brought the Vexari delegation to Earth. The humans wanted access to rare minerals in Vexari-controlled systems. The Vexari wanted weapons technology. As junior staff, Lisa lacked authority to negotiate terms, but she could listen and explaining human concepts that confused the alien and clarifying Vexari concerns for the gradually returning human diplomats. By evening, most of the diplomatic team had returned, working from a respectful distance. As Lisa prepared to conclude for the day, Nix suddenly stood stretching to her full, imposing height. "Take me outside, Lisa Summers." "I wish to see your sky." Lisa glanced at Admiral Blake, who nodded cautiously. The security detail followed, at a distance, as Lisa led the massive alien through the diplomatic compound to a garden area. The sun was setting, painting the clouds in vivid oranges and pinks. Nix stared upward, all six eyes wide, her breathing apparatus expanding and contracting. "Rapidly, your world has beauty. I did not expect this." The report spoke only of resources and strategic value. Lisa sat on a stone bench, looking up at the towering alien eyes that, "Not how your people see other worlds." Nix made that strange, rumbling laugh. Again, the sound less jarring now that Lisa recognized it. "We are warriors, not poets, but even warriors can appreciate beauty." She pointed one clawed finger upward. "My home orbits a blue star. Your people would find it harsh. Temperatures that would boil your blood. Atmospheric pressure that would crush your bones. But the crystal forests at dawn. The light fracturing through millions of crystalline structures. That is beauty." Lisa smiled, listening as the fearsome alien described her homeworld, with unexpected poetry. The security team relaxed slightly, though weapons remained ready. Nix noticed their vigilance and clicked her mandibles. "They are right to fear me," she said suddenly, her tone shifting. "I have killed many beings in my life. Conquered worlds, led armies, but never without purpose, never without honor." "Why are you telling me this?" Lisa asked. Nix turned, all six eyes focusing intently on the small human. "Because you showed no fear. And among my people, that deserves truth in return." 3 days into negotiations, Lisa felt exhausted. The Vexari delegation insisted on her presence at all meetings. Her nights were filled with briefings, reports, and strategy sessions. During breaks, Nix would speak with her privately, asking questions about human culture, customs, and beliefs. On the 4th day, Lisa arrived to find only Nix waiting in the conference room. The other Vexari were absent, as were the Earth delegates. "Where's everyone else?" Lisa asked, setting down her tablet. "I requested a private meeting." Nix said, her massive form shifting slightly. "There is something I must share with you alone, something that cannot be recorded in official transcripts." Lisa hesitated, then nodded and took her seat. The security cameras in the room were always active, but she suspected the Vexari had technology to counter surveillance. "What I told your people about the Void Eaters is true," Nix began, "but there is more. The reason we seek alliance specifically with humans." Lisa waited as the Vexari seemed to gather her thoughts. The bioluminescent patterns on her exoskeleton pulsed with rapid flickers of color. 3 of your years ago, a Vexari scout ship detected unusual energy signatures from your solar system. We investigated, discovering your planet. We observed in secret before making contact." Lisa frowned. This contradicted the official first contact narrative that the humans had detected the Vexari ship approaching the outer solar system. "Why did you conceal this?" she asked. Nyx leaned. Closer, her voice lowered. "Because we detected Void Eater activity near your planet. Not feeding yet, but observing just as we were. They are interested in humans, Lisa Summers, and that has never happened before. In all our history, they have shown interest, only in stellar matter, energy fields, gravity wells, never in living beings. Never in a specific species." Lisa felt her mouth go dry. "What does that mean?" "We do not know," Nyx admitted. "That is what frightens us. Perhaps humans have some quality, some potential, that threatens them or interests them. You are young as a spacefaring species, but your minds, your quantum research, your understanding of dimensional physics, you approach problems differently than any species we have encountered." The alien rose to her full height, pacing the room, her claws clicking on the floor. "I am a war mother. I lead armies, protect hives. Yet I do not understand why the Void Eaters watch your world, but I know it means your species is important somehow, and that is why we came. That is why we seek alliance. Not just to gain your technology, but to ensure your survival." Lisa processed this information. It was alarming, yet also oddly flattering, that both the fearsome Vexari and these mysterious cosmic horrors found humans special in some way. "Have you told this to anyone else on your side?" she asked. Nyx made that rumbling laugh. "No, your leaders barely believe in the Void Eater's existence. To tell them these creatures have special interest in humans would end negotiations. They would assume we lie to manipulate them." Lisa nodded sadly, knowing the alien was right. "So what do we do?" Nyx settled back into her seat. "We proceed with negotiations. But you must help me. Lisa Summers, you must convince your leaders to take the threat seriously, to share knowledge freely with us. We do not have much time." Before Lisa could respond, the doors opened and the rest of both delegations filed in. Admiral Blake gave Lisa a questioning look, which she answered with a small nod indicating everything was fine. The day continued with technical discussions, mineral rights, technology, exchange defense protocols. That night Lisa lay awake staring at the ceiling, her mind racing. Why would cosmic horrors be interested in humans? What made her species special? Humanity was young, technologically primitive compared to the Vexari. Yet Nyx spoke as if humans held some key to fighting these Void Eaters. She accessed her terminal, pulling up all available data on quantum physics, dimensional theory, experimental research. Perhaps there was something in human scientific approaches that the Vexari had missed, something that might explain their interest in Earth. As she scrolled through research papers, she noticed a recurring name: Dr. Marie Foster, lead researcher at the Quantum Dimensional Laboratory. Her theories on interdimensional particle behavior had been considered revolutionary, if largely theoretical. Lisa made a note to speak with Admiral Blake about bringing Dr. Foster into the negotiations. The next morning she arrived early again, finding Nyx alone. The Vexari seemed to be developing a habit of arranging private meetings. "I have been thinking about what you told me," Lisa said. "I think we should bring in our leading quantum physicist, Dr. Marie Foster. Her work might be relevant." Nyx tilted her massive head. "This name is familiar. Our intelligence gathered information on your scientists. Her theories on dimensional interfaces parallel our own understanding. But she approaches from a different perspective." Lisa felt encouraged. That could be important, right? If these Void Eaters exist partly outside normal space, understanding the boundaries between dimensions might help fight them. The Vexari made a gesture of agreement, her mandibles clicking. Softly, "I will speak with Admiral Blake about bringing her in," Lisa continued. "But I need to understand something first. Why me? Why choose a junior diplomat as your primary contact?" Nyx was silent for a long moment, her golden eyes blinking in sequence. "When we observed your planet, we studied many humans, learning your languages, customs, behaviors. You were assigned to analyze our communications. Our intelligence intercepted your reports. You alone questioned whether we might be fleeing something rather than expanding for conquest. You showed insight when others saw only threat. You reminded me of. The Vexari stopped abruptly, her translator making a sound Lisa had never heard before. Reminded you of what Lisa prompted? Of my daughter. Nick said finally, my eldest who died fighting the Void Eaters. She too saw beyond appearances to truth. She too stood without fear before the unknown. Lisa felt stunned. The alien had never mentioned family personal connections, offspring. The diplomatic briefings had contained no information about Vexari family structures. I am sorry for your loss, she said softly. Nix made a gesture the translator did not interpret. She died with honor protecting our homeworld. But her loss is why I became War Mother. Why I seek alliance with humans. We cannot defeat the Void Eaters alone. No single species can. The doors opened, admitting the delegations once more. The private moment ended. Nix, straightening to her intimidating full height. Lisa composing her features to professional neutrality. But something had changed between them. A connection formed. A trust that transcended species. The day proceeded with technical discussions. Admiral Blake seemed pleased with progress. The Vexari were being more cooperative than expected, offering more generous terms for mining rights, asking for less restrictive technology transfers. During the afternoon break, Lisa approached Blake requesting a private word, Admiral. I believe we should bring Dr. Marie Foster into these negotiations. Her expertise in quantum dimensional physics could be valuable, especially regarding the Void Eaters. Blake frowned. Dr. Foster is a theoretical physicist, not a diplomat. Her security clearance is sufficient. Lisa interrupted. Her work could be crucial to understanding what the Vexari are fighting, and to protecting Earth. Blake studied Lisa carefully. Something had changed in the young diplomat over the past days. A confidence. A certainty. Very well, Blake said. Ill-arranged transport. She can join us tomorrow, but Summers, this is your initiative. Your responsibility. Lisa nodded, understanding the implied warning. If bringing in the scientist disrupted negotiations, the blame would fall on her. That night, Lisa dreams of crystal forests and stars going dark. She saw a Vexari warrior younger than Nix fighting shadows that consumed light. She woke with tears on her face, though she couldn't understand why. The night grew colder as Lisa and Nix remained in the garden. The stars appeared one by one, filling the sky with their distant light. The Vexari pointed out constellations visible from both their worlds, though they had different names. Your people, sea monsters. We see potential allies strong enough to stand beside us. The galaxy holds horrors your people cannot imagine. We have fought them for millennia alone. Now we seek friends, not subjects. Lisa leaned forward, interested. What horrors? What has your species been fighting? Nix grew very still. Her bioluminescent patterns dimmed to barely visible pulses. The translator at her thorax made a series of adjustments, as if struggling with concepts difficult to convert. We call them the Void Eaters. Your scientists might call them quantum parasites. They consume reality itself. Stars, planets, even light. They leave nothing behind, not even darkness, just absence. They have devoured 17 systems in the outer rim alone. Lisa felt a chill that had nothing to do with the evening air. These were not threats humans had encountered or even theorized. Such creatures would violate known physics. Why have we never detected them? She asked. Nix made a gesture with her upper limbs that the translator did not interpret. They exist partly outside normal space. Time moves differently for them. A star might take millennia to die from their feeding, but to your instruments, it would appear as a normal supernova or stellar collapse. Only those who witness the feeding directly understand what they truly are. And your people have fought these things, Lisa whispered. How we evolved in harsh conditions. Our minds perceive reality differently than most species. We can see the tears they create when entering normal space. We developed weapons that can harm them, though the cost is great. Lisa thought about the Vexari request for weapons technology, suddenly understanding. It was not for conquest, but survival. That's why you need our technology. You think it might help against these void eaters? Nyx nodded her massive head. Yes, your quantum particle research, your understanding of dimensional physics. They are primitive by our standards, but approach problems from angles we never considered. Our scientists believe a combination of our knowledge and yours might create more effective defenses. Lisa felt the weight of this revelation. The diplomatic teams had assumed the Vexari wanted weapons for expansion or dominance. Instead, they were fighting for survival against an enemy humans hadn't even known existed. They returned to the diplomatic building in silence, Lisa deep in thought, Nyx watching her with all 6 eyes. The human guards kept their distance but seemed less tense than before. At the entrance to the alien delegation quarters, Nyx paused. Tomorrow I will meet with your leaders. Will you be present? Lisa nodded. Yes, I will be there. Good, the Vexari said. Then I will rest. The atmosphere of your world is lighter than mine. It tires me. Lisa watched the massive alien duck through the reinforced doorway before heading to her own quarters. In her small room, she accessed the secure terminal and began typing her report on the day's events. She included everything Nyx had, told her about the Void Eaters, emphasizing the importance of taking the threat seriously. As she worked, a message notification appeared on her screen. Admiral Blake requesting her presence immediately. Lisa sighed, saved her work, and headed to the command center. Blake was waiting with 2 security officers and the chief xenopsychologist, Dr. Ellen Reed. The Admiral gestured for Lisa to sit. Explain to me, Summers, what exactly happened today? Blake demanded. How did you establish rapport with the alien when our entire diplomatic team failed? Lisa considered her words carefully. The War Mother responded to my lack of fear. I think their species respects those who stand their ground, Doctor. Reed leaned forward, fascinated. Was this intentional on your part? A calculated strategy? No, Lisa admitted. I just didn't see a reason to be afraid. She came to talk, not to fight. Blake exchanged glances with Reed. The xenopsychologist made notes on her tablet. The War Mother told me why they really want our weapons. Technology, Lisa continued. She said they're fighting something called Void Eaters, quantum parasites that consume reality. She believes our research combined with theirs might help defend against these creatures. Blake looked skeptical. More likely, a fabricated threat to gain access to our technology. Lisa shook her head. I don't think so, Admiral. She had no reason to lie to me. And it explains their urgency, their willingness to offer valuable mining rights in exchange. Dr. Reed looked thoughtful. It's consistent with some of their earlier communications. We dismissed references to outer threats as metaphorical or cultural. The Vexari language is highly symbolic. The meeting continued for hours, Lisa recounting everything she could remember about her conversation with Nyx. The security officers recorded her statement while Dr. Reed analyzed the psychological implications. Blake remained skeptical, but interested especially in Lisa's ability to communicate effectively with the alien. By the time Lisa returned to her quarters, it was nearly dawn. She fell onto her bed exhausted, but her mind raced with thoughts of quantum parasites and crystal forests. She dreamed of stars going dark one by one, leaving nothing behind, not even darkness. Morning arrived too soon. Lisa showered, dressed in her formal diplomatic uniform, and headed to the conference room. The full Earth delegation was present. Admiral Blake, Dr. Reed, military officers, scientists, and diplomats. They sat on one side of the large, oval table, looking tense. The doors opened and the Vexari delegation entered. Nyx led them, followed by 4 smaller but equally intimidating warriors. Their exoskeletons clicked against the floor. Their breathing apparatuses hissed softly. Lisa noticed the humans shifting uncomfortably, chairs scraping back slightly. But no one fled this time. Nyx spotted Lisa and made a gesture with her upper limbs. The translator at her thorax remained silent, suggesting the gesture was a greeting, not requiring words. Lisa nodded in return. Admiral Blake stood. Welcome, War Mother. We are prepared to continue negotiations today. Nyx settled her massive form onto the reinforced chair positioned for her. Before we proceed, I wish to make something clear. She turned, all 6 golden eyes toward Lisa. The human Lisa. Summers will be our primary contact for all discussions. Blake frowned. Ms. Summers is a junior liaison, not a negotiator. I am aware of her status. Nix replied. But she has shown understanding of our people. The others fear us too much for clear communication. The Admiral looked at Lisa, then back at the Vixari. Very well, Summers will coordinate, but final decisions remain with senior staff. Lisa felt suddenly exposed, all eyes, both human and alien, focused on her. The responsibility was enormous. She took a deep breath and moved to the seat directly opposite. Nix, let us begin, War Mother, she said with more confidence than she felt. Yesterday you mentioned the Void Eaters. Perhaps you could explain to everyone what you told me. For the next hour, Nix described the quantum parasites in detail. Scientists in the Earth delegation asked questions, some skeptical, some fascinated. The Vixari warriors displayed holographic records of encounters with the creatures, strange distortions in space stars collapsing unnaturally, worlds turning inside out. The evidence was compelling. Dr. Marie Foster arrived the following morning, a small woman with dark skin and gray hair cropped close to her scalp. She wore simple clothes and carried a tablet filled with equations. Lisa met her at the entrance to the diplomatic compound. Thank you for coming, Dr. Foster, Lisa said, extending her hand. Foster shook it firmly, her grip strong despite her age. Admiral Blake was remarkably vague about why I'm here. She said, her voice carrying a slight accent, but mentioned something about alien physics and dimensional anomalies. My favorite topics, Lisa smiled, leading the physicist through security. The Vixari delegation is eager to meet you. Their understanding of dimensional physics is advanced, but they believe your approach might offer new insights. Foster raised an eyebrow. So it's true then, actual contact with non-human intelligence. I half thought it was elaborate misdirection. They arrived at the conference room. The Vixari delegation was already present. Nix standing at the center, her massive form dominating the space. Dr. Foster stopped in the doorway, her eyes widening. Oh, she whispered. They didn't tell me they looked like that. Lisa felt a moment of worry. Would Foster react with fear like the others? But the physicist simply adjusted her glasses and continued forward, her expression shifting from surprise to scientific curiosity. Fascinating, she said. Exoskeletal structure, multifaceted visual organs, bioluminescent communication patterns. Nix tilted her head, studying the small human with equal interest. Her mandibles clicked softly. You are Dr. Marie Foster. The translator at her thorax produced the name with unusual clarity. Your work on dimensional interface theory is known to us. Foster blinked clearly, surprised. I wasn't aware my research had reached beyond Earth. We have our methods. Nix replied. Your approach to quantum foam stability at dimensional boundaries parallels our own discoveries, but from an entirely different perspective. The physicist seemed delighted rather than alarmed. Someone grabbed my tablet, she said to no one in particular. I need to take notes. The meeting that followed was unlike any previous session. The technical discussions between Foster and the Vixari scientists became so complex that even the translators struggled. The human delegation watched in amazement as Foster fearlessly questioned alien theories, proposed modifications, and even argued with beings twice her size. Lisa observed with satisfaction. Dr. Foster showed no fear, only intellectual engagement, just as she had hoped. During a break, Foster approached, her eyes bright with excitement. They understand quantum dimensional interfaces at a level we haven't even theorized, but their approach is fundamentally different. Their mathematics, their base assumptions. They evolved in an environment where quantum effects were macroscopically visible. Can you imagine? Lisa smiled. Yes, I can. Foster grabbed her arm. These void eaters they described. They shouldn't be possible, according to our physics, but combine our models with theirs, Lisa. The implications are enormous. Admiral Blake joined them, looking cautiously optimistic. Dr. Foster, your input has been valuable. The Vixari seem more willing to share technical data now. Foster nodded absently, her mind clearly. still processing alien physics, their defensive systems against these quantum parasites. They generate modified Casimir fields that stabilize local spacetime, preventing dimensional tears. But the energy requirements are enormous. They burn out after single-use. Blake raised an eyebrow. And you believe these creatures exist? Foster looked offended. Of course they exist. The mathematical models are consistent with stellar anomalies. We've observed but never explained. The data they shared matches perfectly with unexplained cosmic events. The Admiral seemed surprised at the physicists' certainty. Can we defend against them? Foster hesitated. Not with current technology, but their approach combined with our work on quantum stabilization. There might be a way to create sustainable defenses. The break ended and negotiations resumed. Lisa noticed a change in the atmosphere. The human delegates were more engaged, the Vexari more forthcoming. Technical specifications were exchanged, defense systems discussed, mineral rights negotiated with new understanding of their importance. That evening, Lisa found herself once again alone with Nix in the garden. The night sky, clear stars bright above them. Your Dr. Foster is remarkable, Nix said. She understood concepts our scientists struggled to translate. She showed no fear, only curiosity. Lisa nodded. Marie has always been more interested in ideas than appearances. Her whole life is devoted to understanding the universe. The Vexari made that now familiar rumbling. Laugh, she reminds me of our knowledge keepers, single-minded, devoted to understanding above all practical concerns. They sat in comfortable silence for a while. Then Nix spoke again. Her voice softer than usual. Tomorrow. We finalize the alliance tomorrow. Your leaders and mine formalize our cooperation. But there is something you should know, Lisa Summers. Something I have not shared with either delegation. Lisa turned, giving the alien her full attention. The Void Eaters are coming sooner than we told. Your people. Our long-range sensors detected dimensional thinning in your outer system. They will arrive within 1 standard year, not 5 as we claimed. Lisa felt her heart rate increase. Why did you lie? The Vexari shifted her massive form. If we had told the truth, your leaders would have panicked, demanded immediate technology transfer without exchange, possibly even attempted to seize our ships. We needed time to build trust, to establish understanding. Lisa couldn't argue with the logic. Humans did tend toward panic when faced with extinction-level threats. So what happens now, she asked. Nix extended one clawed hand toward the stars. Now we prepare together. We combine your quantum theories with our defensive technology. We build systems to protect your world and ours. Lisa looked up at the night sky, trying to imagine cosmic horrors approaching, distorting reality itself. Can we win? Nix was silent for a long moment. I do not know. But together we have a chance. Alone, neither of us would survive. Next morning, the final treaty was signed. The Earth-Vexari Alliance established mining rights, granted technology exchange protocols, implemented defense systems, planned. Dr. Foster would lead the human scientific team working directly with Vexari. Engineers Admiral Blake would coordinate military response training. As the formal ceremony concluded, Nix approached Lisa away from the others. You will continue as our liaison, she stated rather than asked. Lisa nodded. Of course. The Vexari made a gesture. The translator did not interpret, then reached into a compartment in her exoskeleton, removing a small crystalline object. She placed it in Lisa's hand. This is from my homeworld. A fragment of the crystal forests I described. It is given only to those who have earned absolute trust. Lisa looked at the crystal. It caught the light, splitting it into colors she had never seen before. I don't know what to say. Say, you will help us save both our worlds. Nix replied. That you will stand without fear. As the darkness approaches, I will. Lisa promised. And together we'll find a way to defeat them. The Vexari placed one massive clawed hand gently on Lisa's shoulder. I believe you, little human. And that is why I am not afraid. As the Vexari delegation prepared to return to their ship, Lisa felt a strange mix of emotions. Fear for the future, yes, but also hope. The most terrifying alien she'd ever encountered had become an ally. perhaps even a friend, and together, their species would face an even greater horror. Dr. Foster approached as Nix boarded her shuttle. That War Mother, she said. She specifically requested you join the scientific team. Said your insight would be valuable, though your background isn't in physics. Lisa smiled. I think she sees something in me, something familiar. Foster nodded. You know, most people still fear them, even after the treaty, even after everything we've learned. But you never did. Why is that? Lisa watched the Vexari shuttle rise into the blue sky. Because sometimes the scariest looking beings are fighting the real monsters, and sometimes what looks like a nightmare is actually your best hope for survival. 6 months after the treaty signing, Lisa stood on the observation deck of the joint Earth-Vexari defense station orbiting Jupiter. The massive gas giant filled the viewscreen swirls of amber and cream against the blackness of space. Behind her, Dr. Foster worked with a team of human and Vexari scientists, calibrating the quantum field generators. Nix approached her exoskeleton gleaming under the artificial lights. 6 months of working together had made her presence familiar rather than frightening to most of the human crew. Though many still maintained a cautious distance, the first defensive array is operational. The War Mother said, the others will be ready within 30 days. Earth has a shield now, though not yet a complete one. Lisa nodded, watching as a Vexari cruiser moved into position near the defense station. The ship was enormous, nearly a kilometer long, its hull covered in weapon systems and shield generators. The Alliance had produced results faster than anyone expected. Human, quantum theory combined with Vexari engineering created defenses that neither species could have built alone. Dr. Foster joined them, wiping her hands on her lab coat. The quantum foam stabilizers are exceeding expectations, she said. Our modifications to the Vexari design increased efficiency by 27%. We might actually be ready when they come. Nix made a gesture of approval, her mandibles clicking softly. Your insight was the missing piece, Dr. Foster. The dimensional boundary calculations you developed changed everything. The physicist beamed with pride. Lisa smiled, watching the interaction. 6 months ago, humans had fled at the sight of the Vexari. Now they worked side by side, the fear not gone but transformed into respect, understanding. Even friendship. A junior officer approached, handing Lisa a tablet. New readings from the outer system probes. She said, the dimensional thinning has increased. The estimate for first contact with the Void Eaters has been revised. Lisa read the report, her heart sinking. 3 weeks, not 3 months, she said, looking up at Nix. The defense network won't be complete. The Vexari stood very still, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing rapidly. We must accelerate deployment. The cruisers can provide temporary coverage while the permanent arrays are completed. Dr. Foster frowned, reading over Lisa's shoulder. These readings don't match our models. The dimensional distortion is happening faster than predicted. It's almost as if. The scientist stopped, her eyes widening. If what Lisa prompted, if they're being drawn here, Foster said, their approach isn't random. They are coming directly for Earth. Just as you said they would. Nix turned all 6 golden eyes toward the scientist. Then we must discover why. What about humanity attracts them? What about your species represents either threat or opportunity to creatures that consume reality itself? Foster shook her head. I don't know. But I intend to find out. The 3 returned to the main laboratory where teams of human and Vexari scientists worked around the clock. The room hummed with energy equations floating in holographic displays, simulations running on massive computers. Lisa observed with pride how well the teams functioned together. Cultural differences remained, but were overcome by shared purpose. Shared threat. Admiral Blake arrived the following day, her shuttle docking with the defense station. She brought news from Earth and updates on the global defense preparations, her silver hair now streaked with more gray, her face showing the strain of months preparing for an enemy. Most of humanity still struggled to comprehend progress report, she demanded, as soon as she entered the command center. Lisa presented the latest data, both encouraging and alarming. The defense systems exceeding expectations, but the enemy approaching faster than anticipated. Blake listened, her expression grim. The Security Council is divided, she said. Some members still question whether these Void Eaters exist, despite all the evidence. They see the Alliance as a Vexari trick to gain our technology. Lisa felt frustration rising. How could they still doubt after everything they'd shared? What more proof do they need? Blake shrugged. Politicians require absolute certainty before acting. Never mind that absolute certainty often comes too late. Nyx joined them, having overheard the conversation, her massive form making even the spacious command center seem smaller. Perhaps they require demonstration, she said, her voice carrying that dangerous edge Lisa had learned to recognize. Blake looked alarmed. What kind of demonstration? The Vexari made a gesture toward the view screen where Jupiter rotated slowly. We have recorded previous encounters, Void Eater attacks on uninhabited systems. They are terrifying but might convince your doubters. Blake considered this, then nodded. Such evidence might help sway the council. They'll arrange a special session. That night, after Blake had departed with the recordings, Lisa found Nyx in the observation lounge. The Vexari stood motionless, staring out at the stars. Her bioluminescent patterns dimmed. Almost dark. You are troubled, Lisa said, moving to stand beside the alien. Nyx remained silent for a long moment, then spoke, her voice softer than usual. I am War Mother. I lead, protect, prepare for battle. These are things I understand, but this enemy, they do not think as we think. They do not want what living beings want. They simply consume. Lisa waited, knowing there was more. My daughter, my eldest, she was brilliant, like your Dr. Foster. She believed she had found a way to communicate with the Void Eaters, to reason with them. She attempted contact. Nyx turned her massive head, all 6 eyes focusing on Lisa. They took her, not just her life, not just her body. They took everything she was, everything she might have been. Her past, her future, her very existence unraveled, removed from reality itself. Lisa felt horror rising within her. Such a concept was almost impossible to grasp. Not death, but complete erasure from existence. Is that what happens to everything they consume? Nyx made an affirmative gesture. Stars, planets, entire systems, not destroyed, but removed, as if they never were. Only those of us who witnessed it remember, and each time they feed, they grow stronger. The areas of affected space-time expand. Lisa struggled to comprehend such an enemy. How do you fight something that unmakes reality itself? 3 weeks later, the first signs appeared. Instruments detecting quantum fluctuations in the outer system. Light behaving strangely. Stars seeming to shift position. Space itself becoming unstable. The defense station became a hive of frantic activity. Final calibrations. Emergency drills. Last-minute adjustments. Lisa worked alongside Nyx, coordinating communications between Earth governments and Vexari Command, the Alliance holding firm. Despite fear, the shared threat uniting species that 3 years earlier hadn't known of each other's existence. Dr. Foster made a breakthrough 2 days before expected contact. Her eyes wild with lack of sleep, her hands shaking as she presented her findings. They're not coming for our planet, she announced to the assembled team. They're coming for our minds, Nyx tilted her massive head. The human concept requires clarification. Foster pointed to complex equations floating in holographic display. Human consciousness operates on quantum principles. Our brains utilize quantum entanglement in ways unique among known species. The Void Eaters perceive consciousness as we perceive light. It's not our planet they want, it's us, our awareness, our perception of reality. The implications stunned everyone present. Lisa looked at Nyx, seeing the Vexarous realization mirror her own. They feed on reality, Foster continued. But reality requires observation to exist. Consciousness creates reality in a very real quantum sense, and human consciousness does this differently than other species. More intensely, perhaps, or more efficiently. Nyx stepped forward, her massive form suddenly animated. This changes our defensive strategy. They will not attack planetary bodies or stellar masses. They will target population centers. Anywhere humans gather in numbers, plans were revised, defenses redeployed. The Vexari fleet repositioned to protect Earth rather than outer system installations. The news spread quickly through both human and Vexari forces. A new understanding of the enemy bringing both clarity and terror on the day of expected contact. Lisa stood with Nix on the defense station command deck, screens monitoring the outer system. Alert level maximum. All personnel at battle stations. The waiting stretching nerves to breaking point. Then it began. A darkness appearing between Neptune and Uranus. Not black but absent stars behind it. Not obscured but gone. Reality itself thinning, stretching, breaking, they come. Nick said simply. The Vexari fleet moved into formation. Defense arrays powering up, human quantum stabilizers activating, creating bubbles of protected space-time. The darkness expanded, not moving through space but replacing it. Nothing had prepared Lisa for the sight. No description could capture the wrongness of it. The complete violation of natural law. Is this how they always appear? She whispered yes. Nix replied, they unmake. They do not destroy. The first attacks came against the outermost defenses. Void tendrils reaching not for the stations, but through them attempting to touch the minds within. The quantum shields held barely. Strange energies dissipating against artificial boundaries. The combined technology of two species creating what neither could alone. Lisa watched as Nix coordinated the Vexari response. Calm in battle after countless engagements, Dr. Foster monitored. The quantum stabilizers making adjustments as the attack evolved. The human fleet joined their alien allies' weapons designed to affect space-time itself rather than physical matter.